Bonjour.
Okay, I've decided. Pavlova.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the Pavlova from Bluey seen in the episode Pavlova. The Pavlova in the show looks like a standard Aussie classic. This one looks like it has strawberries, blueberries, kiwi, and mango. Cafe Chef Bluey also garnishes it with some sprinkles for good measure. I'll show you how to make this Pavlova, and of course I will also prepare an edamame bean side to compete, just like French Chef Bandit, and I'll let my kids decide which they want, just like Bingo did. Let's jump right in and make this Pavlova for real life. Now, I had never even heard of Pavlova before being introduced to it by the show Bluey. It's kind of like a giant meringue cake. The center is super soft and sweet like a marshmallow, and is surrounded by a crunchy outer shell. In order to make the meringue batter, you'll need 6 egg whites at room temperature. It's important to get the eggs up to room temp, so if you need to warm them from the fridge quick, one trick to do it is by adding the eggs to a bowl of hot tap water and letting them rest for 5 to 10 minutes. This should get them close to room temp much faster, and they will be easier to work with. With room temp eggs, carefully separate the egg whites and the yolks. One way you could do this is by cracking in half and transferring the yolk from one shell to the other to let the egg whites fall into a bowl. There are lots of other tricks out there, so use whatever is easiest for you. Once you have 6 egg whites, grab a large bowl or KitchenAid bowl, get some white vinegar and paper towel, soak the paper towel in a little vinegar and use it to wipe down the bowl. Doing this helps catch and remove any greasy spots that might prevent the egg whites from whipping as well. And also the acid of the vinegar acts as a stabilizing agent to help make the egg whites firmer. Add the egg whites to the wiped down bowl and begin whisking together until stiff peaks form. While this is whisking, add in a pinch of salt. Once you have stiff peaks, gradually add in 1 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, about 1/4 cup at a time. Mix about 1 minute after each addition. Less is okay, but the idea to add in increments and gradually is to help make sure all the sugar dissolves and doesn't leave any grainy textures in the meringue mixture. After all the sugar is added, do one more final whisk on high for 3 minutes. At the end, the mixture should be very thick and glossy with stiff peaks. For the last addition to the meringue mixture, in a small bowl combine 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of white vinegar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This will be kinda weird, don't worry, that's just how cornstarch is. Actually, making a cornstarch mix like this makes for a great science experiment for kids. It's like a solid when you put force on it, but a liquid when you let it succumb to gravity or fill the vessel it takes up volume in. A non-Newtonian fluid. Yay, science! Once the cornstarch mix is ready, add it to the meringue and mix together until just combined. This cornstarch mix helps act as a buffer to keep the egg whites from overcooking, as well as stabilizing to help keep the marshmallow texture in the center that Pavlovas are known for. Once the mixture is prepared, grab a baking sheet lined with parchment or a silicone mat. I'd probably recommend the parchment though, given my experience now. You could cut the parchment into a circle shape that you want to fill for the Pavlova, and you'd be able to move it after baking wherever you need. Either way, scoop out the meringue mixture onto the lining and form a circle that is around 8 to 9 inches in diameter. Next, use a spatula to gently shape the Pavlova. Help make the sides straight, give some decorative swipes, flatten out the top a bit. I started from the bottom with my swipes and gently moved toward the top all the way around. Shaping like this seemed to work out alright for me. For the oven temp, get it preheated to 300 degrees Fahrenheit beforehand, but once you are ready to put the Pavlova into the oven, reduce the temperature to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and place the Pavlova onto the middle shelf. Bake this Pavlova for 1 to 1 hour and 15 minutes until it is just lightly browned. Use the oven light to check if you can. It is best not to open the oven. If you do need to check, do it quick, and if the Pavlova is dry to the touch, then you are good to go. Once it is just slightly browned and dry to the touch, leave this in the oven and turn off the temp. Leave the Pavlova in the oven with the door closed for about 3 hours until everything has all cooled down. I made the mistake of leaving the oven door open a bit too long looking at the Pavlova and taking some video, so I had a little sinking in the center where it broke away from the edges a bit. If this happens to you, don't worry. In the end, it'll still taste the same and great. Also, it'll all get covered with whipped cream anyways. While that Pavlova is cooling, it's time to prepare the toppings. For the fruit, I went with strawberries, blueberries, and kiwis, all major favorites of my kids. The Pavlova from Bluey looks like it had some sort of orange or gold colored fruit, maybe like a mango. Use whatever fruits you want for it. It's the perfect opportunity to customize and get creative with decoration. The last topping item is the whipped cream. Whip around 1 cup of whipping cream until the consistency is thick and soft. We like our whipped cream sweetened, so I added in a tablespoon or so of sugar. Once the pavlova is cooled, the fruit is cut, and the whipped cream is prepared, it is time to complete assembly. Add all of the whipped cream on top of the pavlova and gently spread to cover the top surfaces. Top the whipped cream with as much fruit as desired. And that's it. This pavlova is ready to eat just like this. The outside is crunchy, the interior is soft, sweet marshmallow, and the topping of whipped cream and fruit completes the pavlova package. It's no wonder Bingo wanted some pavlova. It's a deliciously soft, creamy, sweet treat with fresh fruit. I was really happy with how this turned out. Definitely a fun way to make something from Bluey for real life. But of course, I couldn't stop here. To really pay homage to the Pavlova Bluey episode, I wanted to be like Bandit and prepare some edamame beans, all fancy-like, and let my kids choose between the two. I also had them help me get the beans out of the shells, and they had a blast doing it, just like Bingo did with her dad in the show. And just like the show, my kids both ended up trying the beans while helping get the beans out, and having fun without my pressuring or asking them to try them. Definitely a good takeaway from that episode, and one that I try at home with introducing my kids to new foods as well, is to let them discover it on their own.
I get to choose if I want to eat them or the pavlova. It's just I don't like it when you make me eat something.
Mon petit chou à la crème.
Sometimes making kids try things doesn't help get them to actually try it or like it in the long term, but letting them have fun and discovering things for themselves can sometimes help them to accept and enjoy things in their own way. And now, to let each of my kids choose between the pavlova and the edamame beans. Bonjour.
Hey, why did you put that on here?
You get to pick which one you want. Which one do you want?
That one.
Okay. And absolutely no surprise to anyone, the pavlova was chosen by each. However, they did both try the edamame earlier. They had never seen or tried edamame before, so I was happy to see them having fun and trying a new veggie. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please consider leaving a like to this video. Also, subscribe if you like Bluey. I make quite a bit of food inspired by Bluey on this channel. My kids love the show, and so do I. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.